Ladies and gentlemen, in today's video I'm going to be going through 10 or so potential loan targets that Bradford City could sign in this 2025 summer transfer window. If you do go on to enjoy today's video, please make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well. If you are new, can we try and hit 180 likes on today's video? And don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. Would you like to see any of these players signed for your club potentially in this video? I'm not going to mention the obvious ones, the likes of Teo Adaramola, the likes of Brandon Callum. We'd love them back for next season, but it looks very likely that Callum will be going to either Blackpool or Lincoln, who probably you'd expect to be challenging a little bit higher up, pushing towards the playoffs at next campaign. So it's a bit of a blow for us, but I think Callum is replaceable with potentially some of the names that I'm going to mention in today's video. Let's waste no further time and get straight into it. Now, at the start of the video I said 10 or so. We do actually have two bonuses in this video. The first one is Emre Tezgel, just because I didn't want to mention him because he's actually out of a contract with Stoke City and he's yet to sign a new deal with the football club. There's rumours of so many different teams that are potentially interested in him, but when he does then get fixed up by whatever club, I think a loan move to League One does make the most sense. At 19 years of age, has previous experience with McAdam in the 23-24 campaign, out on loan there. I think would be a smart addition to compete either as a striker, can also do a job at wing back as well, so I think he would be a decent option for us. And I also wanted to suggest Roman Dixon. Now, the reason why I've not put him in the full list is because he's a right back, and since I've done my list, we've obviously signed Josh Nerfill, so we've got Nerfill and Halliday to compete in that position. We don't really need another right back, but Roman Dixon, obviously 20 years of age, playing for Everton's under 21, still got 2 years left on his deal then. I think would have been a smart option for us to have at right back. 3 assists in the Premier League 2 Division 1 at last campaign in just over 1,300 appearances. Not 1,300 appearances, goodness me, that'd be very impressive in a single year. Just over 1,300 minutes played at that campaign, but again, we don't really need a right back now. Let's get onto the proper list. First up to suggest for me is Nectarios Triantis. I've put him right at the start just because we're getting the hardest name out of the way, but obviously a 22-year-old midfielder, still has another 2 years left to run on his contract. We've now promoted to the Premier League Sunderland, so you would expect him to go on loan once again. Last season, he went out on loan to the Scottish Premiership, where he played and started in 34 matches, playing just shy of 3,000 minutes. He scored 3 goals and also chipped in with a further 6 assists as well, creating the 6 big chances, but defensively was an absolute monster. 1.3 interceptions per game, 2.3 tackles per game, 5.9 balls recovered per game, and 2.9 clearances per game as well. He had a 64% successful dribble rate, won 57% of his ground duels, 52% of his aerial duels. To come in and compete with Alex Patterson as that box-to-box midfielder, Triantis would be the absolute perfect signing. For me, he has to be one of our big priorities in this transfer window. Because he's been playing out in Scotland and now obviously his parent club are in the Premier League, he might be a player that the club potentially might not have come across, but obviously he's done it in big games, going to Ibrox, going to Celtic Park. Them type of venues are obviously not easy to do, but for me, Triantis would be a brilliant signing to come in as Bradford City's new number 8. My second suggestion is that in the way of Nathan Lowe. Now, some people would say this is a little bit unrealistic. He's obviously been heavily linked with a loan move to Huddersfield Town at this moment in time. Still got 3 years left to run on his contract with Stoke City. It's always, with loan players, worth chucking your hat in the mix, because you look at the competition at the top end of the pitch for Huddersfield and then the competition at the top end of the pitch for Bradford City. Lowe is obviously going to play a lot more football with us, and obviously there is a number of other teams interested. I don't really need to go through his stats from last season in League 2 with Walsall. Absolutely smashed it. 15 goals and 5 assists in just 20 starts. This man absolutely smashed it last campaign, was then recalled by Stoke and only went on to make 5 starts where he did score the 1 goal in the Championship. So I think a League 1 loan move does make the most sense. He's going to play more at Bradford City compared to some of the teams that are challenging right at the top end of the table. He'd come in, compete with Callum, then eventually Andy Cook when he returns from his ACL injury. I don't think it's as unrealistic as some people make out, because surely Stoke are going to want him to be playing rather than playing his bit part role or being a bit of a rotation player. They're going to be wanting him to start games, and he's going to do that at Bradford City, so why not chuck our hat in the mix for Nathan Lowe? We've got all different types of suggestions in today's video. Next up then is Max Alleyne, who is obviously playing for Manchester City's under-21s, 19-year-old central defender, and I feel like we need a bit of youth in that backline, a bit of pace, also some technical ability as well, and I think Max himself would bring that. I'm not going to try and pronounce his second name again. There are a few that aren't easy to pronounce on today's list. He hasn't actually played much senior football, but in Premier League 2 last season, he played and started in 21 matches, playing just shy of 2,000 minutes, where he did register the 2 assists. You can't really go into the stats in too much detail. He has played the odd Football League trophy match as well in the season that has just gone by, and was pretty solid in there. 1 interception per game, 3 balls recovered per game, 1 clearance per game, won 60% of his ground duels. And I think to come in as a bit of competition for Aidan Baldwin, play as that ball-playing centre-back that we know that Baldwin certainly can do, and I think Max Alleyne would certainly also be able to do that. It's hard to know sometimes with these younger players what really their level is, so sometimes they can be a bit of a gamble. Maybe this one would be, but I think on a loan deal with the option to send him back maybe in January, or for having to be recalled in January, would make sense for me. Next up then, we have Matthew Craig of Tottenham Hotspur's under-21. Still got 1 year left to run on his contract with Spurs, so if he has a successful loan spell, then obviously there's that option then to maybe sign him on a permanent basis. He's 22 years of age and has had some previous experience out on loan. He obviously went out on loan to Mansfield, I think, in the second half of this season, and didn't play that much football. I think was hampered a little bit by injury. I can't remember off the top of my head who he was out on loan with at the start of the campaign, but we know from previous time with, I think it was Doncaster Rovers in the 23-24 season, where he did have a really good spell in there. And I just think as a box-to-box midfielder, to win that ball back, to create chances, to maybe score some goals as well, he would be a smart addition for us to have on loan. Again, a lot of your loan players traditionally are going to be a bit cheaper on the wages to help fill the squad, and there is some real gems out there. There is some real quality. I think he's definitely going to go out on loan to League One once again. There is some concerns over potential injury problems, but I think Matthew Craig would be a smart addition for us. As a slightly more attacking option, Cameron Congreve of Swansea City for me. Now, you can't actually see his contract length according to SofaScore, but he's 21 years of age, plays as an attacking midfielder, left-footed. I think would be brilliant to compete with Bobby Poynton in that left attacking midfield role. Obviously, season just gone by, he spent out on loan with Bromley FC, where he played 40 matches, started 32 of them, playing just shy of 2,500 minutes. He scored 4 goals in the league and also chipped in with 6 assists, 11 goal contributions in 32 starts for, I believe, his first loan move away from Swansea City. I do think is a pretty solid return, and a loan move surely to League One next campaign does just make a little bit of sense. 46% successful dribble rate, 26% accurate cross rate as well. Would maybe do a job as a left wing back, but I certainly see him being a very, very attack-minded player, and I don't think he would bring much defensively. So I think playing as that left number 10 as competition for Bobby Poynton, Cameron Congreve on loan from Swansea would be a real smart pickup for us. Jamie McDonnell obviously spent last season out on loan at Colchester United from Nottingham Forest and had a really good season. Now 21 years of age, and would come in and provide some real competition for Max Power as that holding midfield, and I think again we could do a lot worse than pick up McDonnell. Obviously 32 appearances last season, starting at 29 of those games, playing just over 2,600 minutes, scored the 1 goal which was that 100th minute equaliser against Bradford City back in November. Failed to register an assist, but his passing stats look pretty solid as well. Defensively, you know, this guy is an absolute monster. 1 interception per game, 4.1 tackles per game, 4.6 balls recovered per game, and 4 clearances per game as well, with a 54% successful dribble rate, wins 57% of his ground duels and 62% of his aerial duels. He's not the tallest of midfielders, but clearly can get up and win them duels. I think would be a real smart addition. We've got the experience in Power, get a bit of youth, get a bit of legs in there in Jamie McDonnell. I think he's more than ready to make that step up into League One, and he would be a brilliant signing on loan for us this season. Kyle McAdam is a 20-year-old left back, also at Nottingham Forest, still has another year left to run on his contract this season. As we know, we do need some more competition in them left wing back positions. We've had a Ramola not yet returning to Bradford City. If that does happen, Lewis Richards, we still don't know the future of him as well. Obviously, we've got Tyreek Wright, but I don't really see him being at League One standard. So Kyle McAdam, I think he's more than ready now to go out and get some senior first team football, and I think a loan move to Bradford City would make a lot of sense. Played and started in 21 Premier League 2 matches last campaign, playing just shy of 1,900 minutes. He scored 2 goals and also registered the 3 assists in there as well, and also played played a couple of matches in the Football League Trophy, actually played every single minute in there for Nottingham Forest under 21. So he did actually deliver an assist in there, kept a clean sheet, 1.7 tackles per game, 3 balls recovered per game, and 2.3 clearances per game as well, winning 50% of his ground duels with, I was going to say 0% accurate cross rate, but apparently he never even attempted a cross. But obviously he has got a little bit of senior football under his belt, and I think a loan spell to League One would make the most sense for McAdam at this stage of his career. We need somebody in that position. McAdam for me is one that does make sense. Callum Osmand is a 19-year-old striker currently playing for Fulham's under 21s. Now, more than aware, the last striker we signed for Fulham's under 21s was obviously Ollie Sanderson, and he started out pretty well and massively dropped off. Rumours of attitude problems, but obviously Osmand a little bit younger and a little bit more of a proven pedigree in the English game. Wouldn't come in and necessarily be a starter for Bradford City, play a bit more of a bit part role because obviously he hasn't actually played much senior first team football, but I think for the first 1 or 2 loan spells that any young player has at 18, 19, 20 years of age, they're not necessarily going to go in and immediately be a starter. Maybe towards the back end of the campaign where we are a little bit closer to safety, hopefully, you might then start giving these type of players a run out, or to come on off the bench for 15, 20 minutes. I do think he would be a decent option for us to have. Played 18 and started 17 at Premier League 2 matches last season, playing just over 1,400 minutes, where he did score the 11 goals, which is, you know, a pretty decent return, average a goal every 129 minutes, which again is very, very good. You got to take it though with a bit of a pinch of salt with it being under 21s football. Had a 67% penalty conversion rate, also registered the 2 assists as well. In the Football League Trophy for Fulham's under 21s, he played and started in all 3 matches. He actually did score a goal as well. Looking at his ratings, I'm not 100% sure who that goal would have actually been against, but seems decent-ish. 14% goal conversion rate in men's first team football. One of them games being against Birmingham City as well. There's not really much for us to go off, but from the odd bit that I've seen of Callum Osmand, I think he'd be a decent option for us to have to compete with Callum Kavanagh. My penultimate suggestion is that in the way of Tyrese Hall, 19-year-old central midfielder, still got another 4 years left to run on his contract with Tottenham Hotspur, and I believe would be a real smart pickup for Bradford City. Obviously, last season scored 5 goals and registered 4 assists, so he'd come in and play in that Alex Patterson role. Started and played in 16 matches, playing just over 1,300 minutes. We have a look at his appearances in the Football League Trophy as well, where he did feature in 3 of those. He actually did score a goal as well with an 81% accurate pass rate. Defensively, not awful as well, in all honesty. 2.7 balls recovered per game. His dual stats aren't particularly amazing, but I think he'd come in, be a real smart technical midfielder for Bradford City. He's got the legs, he's got the energy to compete with somebody like an Alex Patterson or even Tommy Lee in that position. And I do think, again, we could do a lot worse than sign Tyrese Hall. I don't think he'd come in and immediately be a starter. It might take him a little bit of a while to get up to the physicality of the men's game, but his technical ability is clear for all to see. Can score a goal, can create a chance as well. I think would be a real good pickup for us. And my final suggestion then is Mo Faal of Wrexham AFC. As we know, they have 8 strikers or so going into next season, and Faal still has another 2 years left to run on his contract with Wrexham. Still only 22 years of age. If we can get him in on a permanent deal, that'd be brilliant, but I think it will probably cost us a little bit too much. Last season, massively struggled for league minutes, just 102 in total, where obviously he didn't really play that much football. He was used largely as a cup player, but we saw the last time he played in League 2 in the 23-24 campaign, spent the first half of the season on loan at Doncaster, then went out on loan to Walsall in the second part of that campaign. Played 45 matches, started 29 of them, playing just shy of 2,700 minutes, where he did score the 13 goals, averaging a goal every 205 minutes. Did miss 19 big chances, but still had a 16% goal conversion rate. Also registered a further assist in there as well, wins over 50% of his aerial duels, and I think would be a smart signing for us. He's got that sort of physical profile to play as the lone striker, but he's also, you know, decent technically, can find the back of the net as well, and I do think would be a smart addition for us. He's not going to play at Wrexham because he's got 7 or so strikers ahead of him at this moment in time, but I do think a loan move to League One makes the most sense for me, and I think coming to Valley Parade, I think he would absolutely thrive for Bradford City. And there we have it then. There is 10, 12, 13 or so potential loan targets that Bradford City could look to sign this summer, not including the obvious ones, the Adaramolas, the Brandon Kalas of the world as well. But But thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. Can we try and hit 180 likes as I mentioned at the start of today's video? And don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. How many of these players would you like to see your club sign? And if you're a Bradford City fan, if you can only sign 3 of these players on loan for next season, which 3 would you pick? For me, I would definitely go Lowe. I would definitely go Triantis from Sunderland, and I'd probably also go with maybe Cameron Congreve, but I'll probably go Jamie McDonnell just for a bit of competition for max power in that position. I think they would be 3 top loan signings for us, and obviously all have previous loan experience, which I do think it can be very important. But thank you all for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you very soon for another one.